Toastmaster, fellow members, and guests. Last fall, September 2020 to be exact, I celebrated a major milestone in my life. It was 10 years, a decade, that I've been a member of this club, Palm City Orators. I've been honored to have met both past and present members, and an anniversary that came in this 10-year period was so exciting to me that I pulled out a pad of paper and I just started writing. Page after page, I wrote about all the things that I've learned being a Toastmaster over those 10-year periods. And I asked myself, if I was to motivate you, my audience, fellow members, what are the 3 things on this list, the nuggets, if you would, that would motivate you to follow in my footsteps? The first is this: know why you're here. Now, I'm going to challenge you. I'm not talking about the public one that might be, well, I want to become a better public speaker, or I want to meet people. I want to ask the why behind the why. If you were to ask and answer the question by saying, why become a better public speaker? I want to challenge you by asking you, why do you want to become a public speaker? And then once you've come up with your why, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. I want you to scan it to your laptop, or I want to take a picture of it on your smartphone. Now, why is this important? Why is it important that you document that? Well, I'll tell you. I'm going to save you all a lot of time. A lot of time. 10 years it took me to figure this out, right? You're going to wake up sometime during your Toastmaster path, and you're going to say that I've learned everything that I can learn from Toastmasters. Or you're going to be offended by something that someone says to you. Oh, I don't ever want to go back to Toastmasters. I was offended, okay? Or you're going to screw up a project so bad, that you're embarrassed to show your face at the next meeting. Well, I'm going to save some time. It's not if those things will happen, it's when they happen. And they will happen, I can assure you. And that's why I asked that at that point in time, you pull out that little piece of paper. And I'll bet you $5 that the reason that you wrote down to originally join the club has not changed in any way. The second is to immerse yourself in the materials and processes of Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a marathon, not a sprint. I personally do something Toastmasters oriented every day. Might be as simple as reading a magazine article, sending an email of encouragement to a fellow member, or starting to prepare another project. It doesn't really matter. It's about spaced, constant repetition, continuing to feed and grow in our public speaking and leadership skills. Now, I have to tell you, if you're waiting for someone to explain this all to you, I guarantee that you won't. They won't. The manual sat on my desk for a year until one day I got tired of staring at them and I said, what's inside of those covers of those manuals? That is when I personally got into the materials and started reading them and understanding what Toastmasters could do for me if I put forth the effort. Said another way, Toastmasters is very similar to life. It's similar to life in the sense that you're only going to get out of Toastmasters what you put into it. Again, if you're waiting for someone to explain it all to you, you never will. In some ways, I think it's by design because it takes some initiative. Everything worth doing in life takes initiative. I tell my children, everything in life worth doing takes effort, and Toastmasters is no different. That's the second. Now the third, although it's third on the list, in my opinion, it's the most important. That's why I kept it for last. That is to continually pursue bringing new members into the club. I'm going to repeat that. As members, the most important thing we can do, of all of what I've learned over the last decade, is to continue to bring in new members. And I'll tell you why. I asked myself, I said, self, What is the variable between that which we can learn from others and that which we can teach others? And I realized it's the others, other members. By bringing other members into our club, we bring in new life experiences. And I've heard all of the icebreakers that people would get, and I got to know people that are still not members of this club, and I've gotten to know them through their icebreaker speech in this club. So it's the idea that the more people we bring into the club, the more experiences we have to learn and the opportunity to teach as well. Public speaking and leadership skills are not something for someone else to do at some other time or in some other occasion when it's more appropriate and less difficult. Public speaking is tough. But public speaking and leadership skills are for me, and they're for you. And they're not at some other time, they're now. And they're not at some other circumstance. It's this circumstance. The very reason that I'm sharing this with you today. As Toastmasters, we can change the world, one person, one voice at a time. Madam Toastmaster.